What's up, Cloud Gamers? Welcome to another episode of CGX Cast. This is episode 21. We got some good stuff to talk about today. We're missing some people in the panel, but we got 6. So I think this is a good group. I think conversations are going to be quite interesting. So to get started, I'm going to start checking in with people in the panel, see how they're doing, see what games they've been playing, also seeing what content creator they've been watching for the week. So to get started, Ben, how have you been, sir? What game have you been playing? What platform? Also, what content creator have you been watching as of late?
Me, I go first.
Yeah.
Okay. It's more like what game haven't I been playing?
True.
A lot of Immortals Phoenix Rising. I've got probably 3 or 4 hours into that. Played a couple hours of Outcasters last night and a little bit this morning. That game is so much fun. It's hard, but it's fun. And then Ghost Recon Breakpoint, of course. You know, as always.
Is that like your go-to multiplayer game?
It is just
Breakpoint?
because I'm in that Discord server
Discord? Yeah.
for the Stadia version of it, so they organize PvP games, 3 or 4 nights a week at least.
Okay, cool. So am I the only one that sucks at Outcasters, man? Like,
It is hard.
It is hard, right?
Yeah.
Like I can't figure this game out. It's crazy. But I'm glad you've been playing it though. It's pretty cool. How about you, host? What you been up to? What game have you been playing? What platform? What content?
So after a year of waiting and ducking and diving, I finally, bit the bullet and bought Attack on Titan 2. So I've actually just been playing that all week, and I actually forgot about Phoenix Rising because I was enjoying this game so much. But I did pick it up. But yeah, and I just jumped into Spider-Man Remastered. So I've just been jumping between different platforms. So it's been fun. And the content creator I've been watching mostly, I've been watching 6-4 this week. I've been watching them play Crew 2. Just relaxing, watching them play Crew 2, and also Outcasters. He's been really enjoying that. But I had to tune into his show yesterday because he was building a new rig. So I had to actually get a show. I was like, PFG, show us your graphics card in slow motion zoom. So that's the person I've been following.
Nice. He's a fun streamer. Definitely.
He's absolutely great.
What he does. Cool. How about you, Mark? What have you been up to? What game have you been playing? What platform? Also, what content creator have you been watching?
So this week, only really 2. Immortals Phoenix Rising is obviously a massive one. That I've been checking out on Geforce Now. Streamed it on release day using Windows application for Geforce Now. I've talked about it in the past, like some of my issues with their Windows app. I've got to say, first time jumping back into it for like a live stream. Gameplay was smooth. Gameplay was great. It wasn't jittery or stuttering or anything like that. Input latency was great. It was the fidelity for me. I think I've got to play with some settings. It didn't, considering its founders tier and its RTX hardware, it didn't look great. And I may have been spoiled, obviously, by like shadow and local gameplay and stuff like that. But picked it up on the iPad, and I played about 3 or 4 hours last night on the iPad, and it's so convenient. I was just like slumped out on the sofa and just playing it, and it was so cool to do. To think like this small tablet is running this brand new 2020 game. So that was cool. And yeah, I jumped into a little bit of Outcasters, and just from, I'm pretty sure I've only done a tutorial. I haven't even gone online yet, and I'm already of the mindset of like, this is hard. So I will jump back into that. I'll try some online gameplay and just see how bad I suck. Maybe everyone else does. Who knows?
Yeah. Like I was watching people play that game, and it seems like this strategy to it. Like people are hiding behind the walls and then like using their bullets or whatever to like aim. It's like it's pretty cool once you know what the hell you're doing.
Is it going to be Stadia's first esport?
Ooh, it has the potential, but yeah, we'll see. I gotta practice, man. I gotta put Rogue Company down for a second, really to start taking that game seriously, right? How about you, Jared? What you been up to? What game have you been playing? What platform? Also, what content creator have you been watching as of late?
So, yeah, and a lot like Holtz, I'm jumping between everything from Series X to PS5 to PC to Stadia to GeForce Now. I pretty much wrapped up Miles Morales. it was awesome. So just about done with that. I really needed to spend time to finish it because there's just too much going on. And with Cyberpunk next week, it's going to get really
Oof.
hard. Valhalla still a lot for me because I don't know if you guys remember, I put like 130 hours in Odyssey, and I will probably, but it took me a year to do that. It'll probably about a year I'll have over 100 hours in Valhalla. I just really like those games. A lot of that's been on GeForce Now and Xbox Series X. Outcasters, no. I've watched too many people playing that and learning to play it. And I'm going to wait a little while. I just don't even know if it's really going to be for me. And when Mark said esport, it's exactly what I was thinking, because anything that's that hard can become esport. Like anything that's just really that difficult can become like an esport for somebody. So I was actually thinking the same thing watching people play it. But yeah, and as far as content creators, I've only had time to go in Mark's live stream, and he didn't know I was there because I didn't have time to type, and Duncan's live stream, which I got to say hi, and that was it. But it's just been too busy. I haven't been able to catch up on any of my YouTubers like normal.
Sure. Cool. How about you, Duncan? What you been up to? What game? What platform? Also, what content creator have you been watching?
I've been killing wrestlers on stream. I think it took me 2 seconds to get that in. Yes, I got into the crowd play stream on Stadia's event, and I killed your boyo, and it is there for everybody to see. I killed him multiple times. So
Nice.
I've also played Immortals Phoenix Rising on GeForce Now. When I played the demo on Stadia, it put me off the game. But I played it actually in GeForce Now, even though it doesn't maybe look as great being 60 FPS. It just makes just such a different game, and I've been enjoying that. I've stuck about 5-6 hours into that now, so I am enjoying that. I think I'm at the point where a lot of the reviewers were going on about where it gets a bit repetitive. I am beginning to get that feeling of it. No, but so far it's okay, and I was enjoying it. So I've been, like everybody else, so many games to play and so little time. So just catching up.
Yeah, this week has been really crazy for Stadia, at least, with just the announcement and releases. But again, we'll get into Stadia in a bit. But for myself, I've been trying to play Outcasts, but again, just failing miserably in that game. Went back to playing Rogue Company, and it feels so good, once you're good at something, right? So if you suck at one thing, you switch over to something that you get at. It's a good feeling. So I just stuck to that for quite some time, but tried out Immortal Phoenix Rising. That game is pretty good. Played it on Stadia for quite some time. Haven't tried GeForce Now, but I'm hearing some pretty positive response for people who has. And again, kudos to NVIDIA for bringing that same day release too. Again, but yeah, just content creator wise, Eddie, Player One, I would say his love for Outcasters is just really fun to watch him get into that game. And he was doing a stream where he was trying to like hit level 20, and that was fun to watch too. But yeah, checking him out as of late too. But I would say that's it. This week has been really busy and chaotic for me, so really haven't spent a lot of time playing as much games as I want or watching content creators. But yeah, that's my take on the situation. So to get started, guys, so much to talk about. We'll start with GeForce Now like we always do. And then we'll end up with probably Luna Shadow, one of them. But GeForce Now, 8 games released for the GeForce Now platform this week. I would say the biggest one has to be Immortal Phoenix Rising, right? But there's a game called Empire of Sin, which was a same-day release on Steam. We talked about Immortals Phoenix Rising, Ubisoft title, same-day release. Help me with these names, but if I butcher it, apologize. But there's a game called Par Asperia, which is another same-day release on Steam. Phoenix Point Year One, Shiren the Wanderer, Tower of Fortune, Dead Cells, which is a dope game, epic free game, I believe. Door Kickers 2, and Path of Exiles, which is another epic game. So these 8 games made their way to Geforce Now. Just want to know, we talked to the people in the panel already with the game selection and games that they've played for this weekend. We are heard people are busy, right? Haven't had the time to get into gaming as much as they like. So for you guys, here comes 8 games now for Geforce Now. Did any of you try any of these games on the Geforce Now platform, or does any of these games stick out to you that you possibly might want to try when you have free time? So to get started on this, Holt, what's your take on Geforce Now games?
Well, when I seen this list, there was one game that I really wanted to try out, and that was Phoenix Point. And I was so tempted.
Not what I was expecting.
Yeah, I was so tempted in patience because I love the alien invasions, and I've mentioned on previous podcasts that I love XCOM and stuff like that.
Right.
Strategic turn-based style games. But you see, because I've been busy this week, I thought to myself, I can't justify investing more money when I'm in between games and waiting for Cyberpunk. And then I can remember waiting. I remember saying a few podcasts ago that I was saying that I wanted to pick this up on Stadia. So I was in two minds thinking to myself, should I really just invest in now or should I wait? And I did actually step back and waited a little bit.
Oh, so you didn't get it?
No, and I was literally that close. I was that close to pick it up.
Okay.
But I think it'd be a great game to play on the go,
right,
on tablet and stuff like that. But because I'm indoors and I've got too much to play, I just couldn't justify it.
True. Duncan, what's your take on these Geforce Now games coming to the platform?
Yep. As I said earlier, I played Immortals Phoenix Rising on Geforce Now. I am enjoying it on there. I've got to a point where I think I might have to slow down a bit because I think it is becoming a bit repetitive with the puzzle solving and whatnot. Some of the puzzles are just daft. so that's so angled. I've just did one where it's like pinball. Basically, you have to fire balls up against to knock things down. It's just completely. I don't know where that's coming from. But the 2 games I am interested on Geforce Now, if you take Immortals out, is Per Aspera. That one is a base building game on Mars, and that has actually got the amazing voice talent in it. Troy Baker's in it. Yeah, he's doing a big. It's actually a base building game with actual story, so it's something a bit different there. And the controversial figure within the whole gaming creators sphere, Yong Ye, voices in it as well. So they've actually went there and got some big names there. The other game, which I thought was absolutely nailed on for Holt's saying, and I've got my eye on, is that Sheeran, the Wonder, the Tower of Fortune, and the Dice of Fate. I've got the eye on that one as well. That's like a SNES game, which I've got a fan getting lifted from the room behind me. It's a roguelike, and it's like in the SNES style. So I'm actually really tempted to pick them 2 games up.
Cool. Good to hear. How about you, Mark? What's your take on these Geforce Now news?
It's another great week for them, I think. It's super promising to see 5 out of 8 of these are day and date releases, over 50%. It really kind of reassures me that all of these previous things they've had with having games removed and delays and things like that, they have the back end, the legal, the contracts, the agreements with publishers running like clockwork now. So that's really good to see. That's super promising. Obviously, as already said, of these Immortals Phoenix Rising, I played on Geforce Now, both on their Windows app, and the iPad is just a godsend. It allows me to be super lazy and still play games when I don't want to move from that seat to this seat. So yeah, and enjoying it so far, but it's super dangerous for anyone with a short attention span because you've got your quests laid out. Like, here's the main story. But in between, there's 100 different things, chests and side quests and things to go see. So it's I've actually lowered the difficulty because I want to get through as much as possible before Cyberpunk. I want to see as much of that game. And if I make it super hard for myself and keep dying and keep repeating, then I'm never going to get there. So I've kind of turned it back to like story mode so that I can get through, enjoy the story, enjoy the questing and the side stuff, and maybe get through most of it before Cyberpunk. Probably not, because it's super distracting, the entire game. But other than that, the two other ones that I was excited to see, Dead Cells, kind of Metroidvania style game. Pretty sure I've got that one locked in the Epic library somewhere. Never installed it, so now that I don't have to and I can just bring it up on the iPad, I'll probably revisit that at some point. And Path of Exiles is a great game as well, so it's good to see it on the list.
Yeah, for sure. So where do you guys find the time to play games like Immortals? I mean, we have Valhalla, which, you know, I know some people, and then people are forgetting about like Watchdog Legions. So where y'all find the time to invest in these games, man?
I skipped Valhalla.
Oh,
For
did
me-
you? Oh, smart.
Didn't
Smart.
like it, but I'm still playing Watch Dogs.
Okay.
For me, usually these games about 40, 50 hours. They're sort of a year plan. So I don't. I just run out and play these games to death. I just stretch it over an hour or two per week, and it adds up over time.
Okay. Smart. What's your take on this Geforce Now news, Jerry? Did you any of this game get you excited? Did you pick any of them up?
Super excited. All right. Immortals Phoenix Rising. Geforce Now is almost the only place that I've been playing that game. I'm about 5 hours in on that, similar to Duncan. I don't have a fidelity issue so much. However, Geforce Now's got a real issue with resetting the graphic settings on that game. I even had it happening during gameplay, and then I got a weird thing where it wanted to restart the game, and then of course I was back to low everything again. Like it's really bad for what it's doing there. So I'm constantly having to check to make sure I'm up in like highs where I usually want to be for that one. But so definitely been having some issue with that part of it. But the game is so smooth on there. It's been running really well. I've played it on Shadow as well, but Geforce Now is running that game really well. So that's pretty much where I've been playing that on the TV through the Shield or on my PC. iOS support for Geforce Now has been a game changer for me. So you ask, where do we get the time? I'm getting more time because I can fire up more games on my phone or on a tablet and play more. Dead Cells, Mark was saying he hasn't tried that yet on the iPad or phone. It's perfect for the smaller screen because it's not like trying to play Call of Duty or something. And I love Dead Cells. It's awesome. I had it on Epic already. So that coming there, it's another game I can jump into. A lot easier, be lazy, sit on the couch, not move. All that kind of stuff. Phoenix is a great one to come. I know a lot of people were waiting to see if that was going to jump up on there. So lots of day and date releases. A good week for Geforce Now. It's actually stronger than I thought it would be with Immortals coming. I thought we'd see Immortals and like maybe two games. I think we've seen that happen before when we get a bigger game. But it was still a really strong week, even with Immortals on there. Yeah. Really cool.
I would agree. Sorry about that. My neighbor always wants to fix his car when I'm doing a podcast. It's a crazy thing. Yeah,
he's always fixing his car.
Crazy.
So one thing I would say about the Ubisoft Plus, I cannot stop talking about it. It is so worth it. One, for the subscription price for getting all of these games, but two, they're like cloud save. It's been so helpful, especially with Immortals Phoenix Rising, because you can see it in the options. You go to save, you can manually save locally or cloud save it. And then by doing that, I was able to play it on Windows and then bring it over to the iPad exactly where I left off, and then jump straight into, like, I played it on Shadow today. Haven't launched it on there at all yet. I was able to jump straight back into my game, and it allows, because Ubisoft has such a good kind of relationship with all cloud gaming platforms, it really enables you to like get that flexibility. Like, I want to pick it up on Luna, I want to pick it up on Stadia, I want to pick it, like, all of these things is super helpful. But I wanted to add my one complaint for Geforce Now for the iPad app. Actually, not even the iPad app, just Geforce Now. And it's the fact that it dishes you up a fresh virtual machine every time, similar to what Jerry was saying about it resets the graphic settings. Also, just the fact that it cannot freaking remember you every time. And especially with Ubisoft Connect, because they have two-factor as well. So you try and get in, and it's like, okay, I've got to log into Ubisoft Connect, and now it wants a two-factor code. And I had a couple of instances where it didn't load in properly, so I had to back out. Okay, I've got to do it again, log in, two-factor, because it doesn't remember you anytime. Don't know if anyone else has struggled with that.
a few podcasts back, I think Chief was saying exactly the same, that Ubisoft doesn't remember you, and when you've got a long password and stuff like that, it's just so frustrating.
It is. It's really annoying. Can't stress that enough. It's been an ongoing issue for sure. Ben, what's your take on the GeForce Now needs, man?
I mean, honestly, I've been so focused on Immortals that I just completely ignored the rest. It's a fun game. Again, I haven't gotten to the part where I'm tired of the puzzles yet, like a lot of people that I'm hearing. Um, to me, it's still a really fun game, but I'm only about 3 hours into it.
Yeah, so you playing it on GeForce Now instead of
Yeah.
Stadia?
Yeah, I did
cool.
notice that I'd set it to the highest quality settings, highest graphic settings, and then when I came back the next day to play, like it didn't look anywhere near as good.
Right.
I didn't even think to check. I just assumed it was something wrong with GFN and not with the not with the settings having dropped back down.
Right. True. So Charles, real quick, was asking what was the free games in Epic that was put on GeForce Now, and we quickly talked about that. Those games were Dead Cells, which a lot of people here are excited for, and Path of Exiles was the other game that was put on GeForce Now through Epic. So again, those games are free. You guys can go claim it, and some is pretty cool, right? Again, use the free GeForce Now tier, and you can play those games really for free in the cloud. Right.
The claimable game this week is actually hold on, let me pull it up real
Did I
quick.
get it wrong?
It's Cave Story Plus,
Oh, my bad. Okay.
and it's not on GeForce Now.
Right.
Oh, okay. The Epic. Okay. Yeah, I
They're
read that
Epic
wrong.
games, but
They're
they're not free ones.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So they
Thanks for
so
the
they didn't
correction.
add the free one this week,
This
but
week.
it's not a massive
PS
loss.
Okay.
No, it's an
Cool.
8-bit game. You can load it on any computer pretty easily.
Thanks for clarifying that. Again, awesome panel here who are enthusiasts and who know this stuff when it comes to cloud.
And I
gaming.
do think it's actually a big thing, because a few months back they actually said all Epic free games will be available on GeForce Now. So I don't want to be that person that forgets about it and then it doesn't come out and we just go, oh yeah, remember that game? I want it on the same day. I want Cave Story on GeForce Now.
Yeah. True. Again, they've been hit or miss with that, so be quite interesting to see if they can get a consistent rhythm going with those games for sure. Cool. I'm reading the comments, and we'll talk more about Submerge when we talk about Google Stadia. But let's my take on GeForce Now news. Realistically, haven't really played it. I'm playing Immortals with Google Stadia. After playing Valhalla and Stadia and GeForce Now, it's just something that rubbed me the wrong way when it comes to playing Ubisoft titles on GeForce Now, that I just haven't really tested Immortals. Watch Dogs and Valhalla I felt ran really bad on GeForce Now, but I know Stadia again is not 60 and you can, whatever, but it runs smooth and the graphics looks pretty good to me. So I just ended up picking up Immortals, even though I know Ubisoft Plus is going to come, and I'm going to kick myself in the rear end when that becomes a thing, because again, chilled out 60 while I can pretty much play it for free on another platform. But to me, it's all about that experience. I need my game to perform really well, or to me, I just feel like I'm wasting my time. But so that's my case. I think it's a good get. 8 games this week. I mean, my goodness, that's a lot. And again, like Jared was saying, with Immortals coming, you would think that they'll have like 2 games, to showcase. But the fact that these are 8 solid games. They're not crappy games. So again, good week for GeForce Now overall. So anyone else in the panel want to add to GeForce Now? If not, we're gonna move on to Google Stadia, because it's a lot to cover for Stadia. So feel free to hop on if I miss something with GeForce Now. Okay, moving on to Stadia, y'all. This has been an insane week. So I feel like Stadia is at a point right now where they're just firing on all cylinders. It took a while to get here, but I feel like they've just been consistent with delivery, with content, with news, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if, come close to Christmas, they have some other, bombs to drop. We know Ubisoft Plus is still coming, but it's crazy. So many things to talk about when it comes to Stadia. So there's an event called the Hangout event for Google Stadia. WWE Xavier Woods and Katie Wilson hosted this event. And I would have to say, and again, I'm going to ask the panel what y'all's reaction was to this event, but I would have to say by far, this was one of their better events. They could have cut out some live gameplay of some of the games, but apart from that, I thought this was incredible. But just want to check in with you guys. We're going to start with Holtz on this one. What's your take on this event, and how rated on the scale, 10 being great to 0 meaning not so good? Where would you rate this event?
Well, I would have to start off high. I'd say give it an 8, because to me, I did really enjoy this Hangout showcase. It was a big, huge improvement from past events if I wanted to rate it in a similar scheme if I was watching the past other events as well. Because to me, the hosts were really enjoyable to watch. I think they were very likable, and I did like seeing them playing the games and talking to Stadia for newcomers and the people who actually want to be invested in the games.
Right.
And yeah, the only time they actually killed the stream is when they actually done that Dead by Daylight. They shouldn't have put that in. I wish they put any different game just to show crowd play and crowd choice. But overall, I did seem happy with it, and especially the games that I was looking forward to see. Okay. So when I got in, I mean, I was like, oh yeah, here's Outcasters, here's this, and we were watching it with Chief and Duncan. But then when I seen Valkyria Chronicles 4 announced, I was just like, yes, Stadia's finally getting the games that I want. So it's a JRPG, and it's set in alternative World War II, and it's roughly the same time as Valkyria Chronicles 1. So just having this, to me, actually bumped up that showcase, because I'm like, finally, Stadia is pushing a narrative for Sega, and for me, that's a huge investment for me. So that's what bumped up it. And then also, when they actually showed Submerge, I was like, what do I think about it? But when I stood back, it does look lovely, and I do believe it's going to be a great, relaxing game to play over the holidays. So I'm looking forward to that. So, and then Outcasters, so 3 out of the 4 games I really enjoyed seeing.
Okay, cool. Yeah, just want to know your take, right? So again, with those 2 games, Submerge and Outcasters, those are now 8 games to Google Stadia Pro for the month, right? What's your take on that? Do you think they can continue this momentum of 6 and possibly 8 games per month for Stadia?
Well, I hope not. I mean, for loads of people, they really are enjoying 8 games. But to me, I want quality over quantity. So I want them to dial it back a little bit and just give them more games that, not being selfish here, that's more catered for me. Because loads of these games I'm just claiming, going family library. So I know a lot of people going, oh, 8 games. But to me, I only see them as a handful that I would be interested in.
Right. Good point. Just another question for you real quick. Have you ever played Valkyria Chronicles, however you said? Have you
Valkyria
played
Chronicles 1 or 4?
The one coming to Stadia 4?
Yes, I've actually got it on the Switch.
Okay.
I've got
Same here.
Right, but if the price comes out, great. If they hit the price low for Stadia, I am definitely going to double dip.
Right. Exactly. It's a good get. I feel like Stadia is needing like RTS or tactical, strategy games. So it's a good get for the Stadia.
And like I said, I've been whinging about hours, getting the gaming hours in, but this game's going to take me 40 hours to play again. So slow grinds on the move, on the iPad, phone, or wherever I can play Stadia.
True. How about you, Duncan? What's your take on this event? Where would you rate it on the scale of 0 to 10?
See, this is where it's actually hard to rate this. Are we rating this on the Stadia scale, or are we rating this on the gaming scale? If it Stadia scale, you're talking a 7 or an 8. If you're talking in a whole gaming scale, you're talking a 4 or 5. If you're comparing it to Xbox, Nintendo, PlayStation, But on the Stadia scale, this has been their best defense since GDC, and I think it's not even close. They've got everybody on board. They got the streamers on board. They showed off some great games, or sorry, some good games, I will say. I think we're going to be coming to talk about the games after this, so we can talk about Outcasters and such like. I've got an interesting take on Outcasters. But it was a real good event overall for Stadia, and it was solid for them. Again, the Death by Chocolate section was just absolutely awful. It just sucked the life out from it. If that section was removed, you probably would have got rated higher, in my view. Again, unfortunately, from the games perspective, and it will always come back to the games, I know Outcasters is getting a lot of love out there in the Stadia community. There wasn't a game there which is going to shake things up. Again, we're still waiting for a game to go, this is brilliant, this is going to bring people to Stadia. We're still waiting for that big game to come. And again, it wasn't shown here. But overall, the event was good. It introduced the Stadia features, which are really great. The crowd play and crowd choice, if you can get into them, that is. And yeah, there are lots and lots of positive signs that they are getting better. But I don't think it is as great as everybody may think. But it isn't rubbish. It was mediocre sort of thing. After a couple of days, in my
Fair
view.
enough. Good point. How about you, Jared? What's your take on this event? Where would you rate it?
All right, so we'll just say 8 out of 10 for Stadia.
Okay.
I agree with Duncan. It's more like a 5 or 6 when compared to all the major video game companies out there. But we already know. Nobody watched my Stadia talk video anyway, so I can say some stuff that I said in that video. I'm not judging Stadia up against all these other companies anymore so much on the channel. I'm judging Stadia for what it is by itself. I'm really taking a different look at it, a different approach. And when you do that, you get a much more positive outlook on what Stadia is, what it has to offer, and what it can do when I'm not constantly looking at my Series X completely destroying the graphics and frame rates that Stadia can do. Because that's just the truth. PlayStation 5, Xbox, and PC will destroy game performance on Stadia. But when you stop just looking at that tech all the time and how the games are running, and you just go and say, I want to load up a game and play right now. I want it to be easy, quick. Stadia's got it. And Xavier Woods, yeah, give me New Day all day. I love WWE. I love to follow that. And his energy that he brings not only to WWE, that he brought to the Stadia stream. I was watching that thinking, why was this not the Summer Fest that we all waited 2 weeks for and hyped up? And we're like, yes. And yeah. And we always get these little 5-minute videos and connects and stuff. We're always upset. So yeah, I really thought it was good. I love the energy that they brought, and I'm actually just kind of coming into the end of the year looking at Stadia in a different light, coming at it from a different direction, and really just appreciating what they're bringing to the table for gamers. Even if it's not trying to keep up with all the newest stuff that's coming out, it doesn't really need to. And there's a lot there for people to enjoy. And I think Stadia is the only cloud gaming out there that is its own console or platform, right? xCloud supports Xbox, Geforce Now supports your PC purchases, and so on. PlayStation Now with supporting PlayStation, they all support cloud services. Stadia is the only one that you could just get that's your console. It's not supporting something else you have. So kudos to them. They're doing a really good job coming into the end of the year.
True. Yeah, I would have to say Xavier was way better than Lamar when it comes to hosting an event. So hopefully
he can get you hyped up with pancakes. He can do Stadia. Okay, Xavier was.
True. Ben, what's your take on this, man?
I thought it was really good. Probably the best one since they first announced Stadia, in my opinion. I loved that while it was scripted at first, felt scripted at first. Once they went into the gameplay, they still had excitement, and they looked like they were still having fun, even though there wasn't a script while they were playing. I saw Duncan in there playing; that was awesome.
Yeah.
So we know it was live and not recorded footage. Yeah, I thought it was a lot of fun to watch, and I like that. What was her name? Katie Wilson. That she said she was going to keep playing Stadia even afterwards. So it's they're not just doing it just for the event; that they're actually like trying to get into it.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good positive way to get people interested in it, and you can see numbers growing in the Stadia community. Look at the Reddit and everything, and it's growing considerably after this week with all the streamers and everything.
Yeah. True, true. And someone posted here, I was trying to find it, but yeah, there are more live streams with other streamers to showcase in Stadia. So we talked about this earlier when we started this podcast, how they needed to do this. So it's pretty cool to see them, reaching out to the big dogs, and still got to get like Shroud and Dr. Disrespect though to stream Stadia. I feel like those names will definitely blow Stadia up. But yeah, good look though. They're trying for sure. Mark, what's your take on this, man?
Yeah, I probably land about the same as the others. In my mind, before we even started spitting out numbers, in my mind, I was saying like between a 7 and an 8. They've definitely, I think they've learned their lesson. They've looked at previous streams or events that they've done. The marketing around it was completely different. They didn't overhype. They didn't like underhype. It was like kind of like perfect kind of middle ground for what the event was, the type of announcements that they were doing. They had it about right. The format of it, as we were saying, like having it be just like less his head executive of art design, blah, 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 who's reading off of a script, and then having it be a pre-recorded video of them reading a script and then a trailer and then them pretending to be excited and then script and then like the format doesn't work. And that's what brought a lot of these previous events down for us. So having it be live, and exactly what you were saying, what we've said a while ago is that they kind of kept this weird separation between Stadia and content creators and the players themselves. They would only really like respond on social media and stuff if it was a generic like, please submit a support ticket, or this is coming to your country soon, we'll let you know. Like it was really like generic support responses, and we've seen them kind of branch out a bit now. They've got like this content creator thing that they're setting up. They're talking to players. They're having them involved on live streams now, and that's exactly what we were hoping for at the start. So yeah, the event in general, 7, 8 in terms of the format of it and the announcements and the marketing behind it. Yeah, hopefully we'll see this kind of continue.
I think it's funny Mark brought up hype. I didn't even know it was happening until I saw the Stadia tweet like right then, and I saw Sonny go live, and so I watched Sonny kind of live stream it, and I was like, okay, this is cool. This is actually a big event. The Stadia did not hype up hardly at all. It was a lot of fun to watch. So it's funny you brought up hype. I didn't even know it was happening till it was happening.
So I gotta give them props for this one. And just before I get into it, I want to know, like, is this going to be the type of format? The thing with Google is like they like to stand out, right? They like to do things differently than what the industry is doing. So you see these game shows that have directs. I mean, Google tried it with their own Connect type situation. And I would say, realistically, hasn't gone pretty well for them. So you saw them try the Good Stuff event. Now you see them trying Hangouts. Do you think like this is going to be kind of the type of format they start using moving forward, instead of like, this is a separate question, I guess it wasn't supposed to be, but I'm just going to throw it out there. Do you think like this is going to be the type of format that they're going to use moving forward, instead of stuff like a connected direct type format? Anyone can hop in.
I think we said that ourselves at I think it was probably the Good Stuff event, or I hope specifically I remember saying like after all of the announcements were done and dusted, we wanted them to go to some kind of treehouse of like presenters or content creators, or just someone after who's doing this less scripted, like I was saying, less scripted and more just like talk about the event, their opinions, play some games live. So hopefully what they do is look at the event they've just had, compare it to the reception of previous ones, which I feel like the Stadia community is pretty vocal. So they, that feedback is there. It's there for them to see, and hopefully they'll see that and see that this was the preference and carry on.
True. Good point.
I hope going forward they actually get a host that can be the face of the Hangout. So they usually just get one host that's friendly, and then they bring in other YouTubers to play the games going forwards, and sort of what they've just done before. Because I think we all need to relate to a person, not like Sony used to have like Shuhei Yoshida and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think we just need a host that can be relatable, funny, sarcastic, and very knowledgeable about the games they're playing.
Should we get Lamar?
Like a Jeff Keighley, man, you know? Like how cool would that be if they probably have to pay him the big bucks, but yeah, that's not a bad suggestion, Holtz, for sure. Just like a face for the event, right?
Yeah.
Cool. But I do have to say again, props and kudos to Google for number one, right? Letting us know where the hell to find this event. Number two, having a timer on this event to hype people up, right? I mean, how many times have we talked about that? So I think they're listening, right? They did this right. And so hopefully going forward, they can learn from this, see the reception that they got, and hopefully continue to do awesome shows like this. I would rate it a 8 out of 10 for me personally. It was one, this might sound bad and I might get blasted for saying this, but I've seen a lot of bad things happen with Stadia shows that I was kind of like waiting for it, right? I was like, all right, when's it gonna come? Da da da. But it didn't, except from the long Dead by Daylight stream. I felt like this went really, really well. So again, 8 out of 10 for me when it comes to this event. So we're gonna move past the event because we got some other stuff to talk about. But again, members of the panel, if you feel like hopping in, if I missed something, please.
Yeah, I just wanted to just say again, and I said this last week, I wish they promote competitions for the community. I don't know why they didn't actually say, and if you go to the Stadia sweepstake, you can win these games, or mention, I don't know, something they can just give away.
Right.
The winner of the iCasters gets a month's Stadia Pro. Something like that could have went down a treat.
Sure.
You would send it to your account or something. Absolutely. There's so much potential in this format. Just go back to your question earlier. This should be the way to do it, especially if they're going to shadow drop games. You can play this now and jump on stream with us now, and it's all available as pro. Could be a real big thing for them going forward.
Right. Good. I mean, if they decide to stick with this, it'll be good for them because again, they'll be, standing out from, and it's going to be pretty interesting to see if other companies copy this, right? Again, we know Nintendo was the pioneer for direct connect type of events, but if Google continues to go this route and if it continues to be successful, I'm interested to see if other companies will kind of, take this approach to present and the announcements in games. But pretty cool stuff all around for sure. 5 games was released for Stadia this week, and my goodness, it's crazy. Actually, I would say more than 5, but 5 that you can actually purchase without counting the 2 pro games that was released, and then the 6. Holy crap. Anyway, the games that you can pay for, it's Immortals Phoenix Rising, Outward, Chronos Before the Ashes, Pogs or Fogs, I don't know if I'm butchering that name, and El Hio, if I'm butchering that name too. Members of this panel, how many of these games did you guys pick up? Did you guys pick up any? And out of these games that I just talked about, which one, I think I know the answer to this, but which one has the attention and has you the most excited? So to get started with this question, let's start with Ben.
I mean, they all look good in their own way. Obviously, because of Ubisoft Plus, I've been playing Immortals Phoenix Rising on anything but Stadia. I would love to play it on Stadia, but they got to get that going. I just don't feel like paying for it when I have a subscription that covers it. That's the only one that I've been waiting for months. Fogs looks like a fun game, but if my daughter were a little bit older and more into video gaming, I'd probably do that to play with her. But right now, the only thing that can get her attention is Monster Jams, Steel Titans. she actually had a blast playing that earlier this week. Yeah, Chronos looks good. I don't know if I want to buy it, but it looks like a good game.
Okay.
Nice
Okay.
to see all these games being loaded in at the same
Yeah.
time, though.
Yeah. I like how it wasn't all like the same day. Like they had one release
Hmm.
one day, it felt like every day they had something releasing, which was pretty cool. How about you, Jared? What's your take on these games coming to Google Stadia for this week?
So I'm in the same boat with everybody else with all the Ubisoft games that are coming out. Ever since they announced Connect was coming soon to Stadia, I've just been waiting. Was super tempted to grab Immortals anyway, but I'm not. I'm just gonna wait because I know Connect is coming soon. So, but that is the only game really out of the 5 that released that I wanted to play. Chronos looked pretty cool. I watched it. Actually, I saw your video on Chronos. I'm not sure what you really thought, but I watched other videos. I'm like, I'm not going to shell money, and I could see this being heavily discounted or free or pro or something down the road. For me, Phoenix is the only game I want to play here. If I didn't have Ubisoft Connect, I would buy it. Definitely, I would suggest it's a great game. But since I do know it's going to be coming down the road, and Valhalla, Watch Dogs, Phoenix, I'm waiting on all these games to play
Right.
on Stadia because I know they're going to come with Connect. So that's my big hold up right now with a lot of these games on Stadia. And for me, I won't go into the pro games because I know you're going to move to those. But for me, the pro games this month, not counting Immortals, were better
Ooh.
than the other games, than the ones you could buy anyway. Just for me, because like Ben was saying, Monster Jam, Steel Titans, Everspace, bringing genres that weren't even on Stadia yet with Everspace and games people haven't experienced yet. Hitman 2. For me, just the pro games were better, not counting
Good
Immortals, than
point.
the games.
Good. I agree. Actually,
I
with
agree as
that.
well.
Good point. How about you, Mark? What's your take on these games?
I will be glad to check some of them out if they come to pro. Excluding Immortals Phoenix Rising, exactly the same for everyone else. We are very close to running out of time to meet their
Right.
end of the year promise for Ubisoft Connect coming to Stadia. Like, it's got to happen next couple of weeks, or it's not happening this year. Like, it's not going to happen week of Christmas. You don't do drops like that close. Actually, tech companies will probably have some kind of like code freeze deployment block, probably like the second week of December. So we've really not got long for them to launch something like that. So I'm losing hope. Same if we do get Ubisoft Connect come to Stadia, I'm probably likely to jump on that just for the UI UX, the ease of getting into it. Like I was complaining about for Geforce Now, that Ubisoft Connect logon, the 2-factor authentication, sometimes it didn't load up properly, the graphics changed, it doesn't remember you. I don't see that being an issue for Stadia, so if it comes there, then I'll happily play it on there. Yeah, other games, nothing caught my attention. Fogs looks weird as hell, and I know it's supposed to be maybe a kid's game. It does not look it. That's all I'll say on that, because yeah.
Cool. So you're right. Time is running out for Ubisoft Connect to release in Stadia. My thing is, I think that we'll get it. The thing I'm excited about with Ubisoft Connect is the fact that it brings cross-platform play. I know, Ben, you play a lot of Breakpoint. How cool would that be, right? If we can get PC plays on there. And I can see Ubisoft Plus coming with Rainbow Six Siege. I mean, we've seen it rated already. So that might be like, what they're kind of waiting to finalize. I hope so. It's just my take, because Stadia needs competitive shooters, I think.
The only thing that concerns me with the Ubisoft Plus coming and bringing the crossplay with Breakpoint is all the cheaters. Because right now it's really hard to have exploits in Stadia. It's really easy to do it on PC. So kind of might take some of the fun out of the game. So we'll see. But it would be cool to have more people to play with.
True. How about you, Duncan? What's your take on this?
I will do it. So just so no one else can do it. Ubisoft Plus, pro game. And that's in the greatest respect to every single game there. It's they've all got pro games wrote all over them at some stage, and just the way the amount of pro games Stadia are doing, the chances are they're going to be pro games. That's not to say that you shouldn't pick them up if you want to get them now. But if I'm giving my honest thoughts and things, I would not be picking any of them games up just because for me you just have pro game wrote all over it. And I just want to shout out Coach Sync here because they've given me a copy of Fogs for the site, so we will be reviewing that in the coming days as well.
Nice. Yeah, a lot of these games, you're right, has pro written all over them, so it's going to be interesting to see which one eventually does come. I personally think all of them except Immortal. So good point with that. Horst, did we get to you on this?
No, but I think I'm the only one that actually bought Immortals. I said this last week. I think I'm the only one that's actually buying Ubisoft games on Stadia. To me, I don't actually want to be tied in subscriptions because if I look at a year subscription, these games are huge and I don't think I'm ever going to finish them in a whole year. So what my approach is to buy the games full out, add them to a family library when I'm not playing, the family is. Yeah. I'm not tied with these games to be added, removed, or subscription expired. But to say that, I bought it, I pre-ordered it, and then I didn't actually boot it up because I've just been too busy. But I will actually get round to actually playing it. And I did say a few podcasts ago that I did want to buy Fogs. I think it's a really fun game. But this week, it's fell in at just the most awkward place. And because it's like £25 plus, I just don't think I can invest the money in it yet. And like Duncan said, the more I actually wait, the more it will actually come a pro game or it'll actually come for a sale price. So hopefully, if it drops a few more pounds or dollars in the upcoming weeks, I will actually pick it up to support the title.
True. Good point, all. Yeah, I think you all said it. All these games, it's good that, again, we got some consistency with games being released in Stadia. But yeah, none of them seems to be like a standout game. And I think, Jerry, you were the one saying the pro games, which we'll get into. Man, I mean, we got some good stuff that can rival games that, they're asking you to pay for. But yeah, I mean...
I don't think Ubisoft Plus is actually coming to Stadia this year. I think it's going to be Easter next year, and I do actually think we'll probably get a Ubisoft sale by Christmas for all these games. That's my take on it.
True, but I can see it working both ways because not everyone's going to subscribe. I mean, you'll be crazy if you don't, but not everyone's going to subscribe to Ubisoft. What is it? Ubisoft Connect? What? Connect. Okay, not everyone's going to subscribe to it. So if they do run promotions, people like you, hosts, who just don't mind buying the game outright, they'll have the opportunity to do so. I know I purchased Immortal because, again, I think it just runs the best on Stadia for me personally. So I'm gonna keep it and play it on Stadia. So I think we might still see sales even if Ubisoft Connect releases for sure. But anyone else want to add to those games coming to the platform? If not, we're gonna move to the pro games.
Last Immortals Phoenix Rising shout out. One thing that I was impressed with was that I guess this is more of a Ubisoft compliment, or how they've worked with Stadia worked really well. That exclusive free demo. For it to be I thought it might just be like part of the game and they just like released a snippet. It is a completely separate mini game that they have created specifically for Stadia to give you a taste of it, a different storyline, like absolutely everything from the ground up. None of that is in the actual game, and that was super impressive to me.
Yeah, no, great point. And it's so interesting watching other YouTubers cover this game. They refer it to the Google Stadia game. Like it almost is associated with Stadia. So it's a good marketing scheme from Google for sure. They did this one. They did this one right. So again, it'll be interesting. I hope they got the data that they wanted. It'll be interesting to see if they do this with more games. It's good. It's good. So again, moving to pro games, feel free to hop in here if you want to, members of the panel. So 6, I would actually not 6, 8. If you want to add the 2 games that we got this week, Pro Games was released for the Google Stadia platform, and those games were Hitman 2, Hello Neighbor, Secret Neighbor, Into the Breach, Kind, Monster, Jam, Steel Titans, and Everspace. And then we had Outcasters and Submerge release with the Thursday event. So out of these games, I'm curious to know, like, have you guys played any of them, and which one stands out to you? And the last question is, do you think, I know we ask this all the time, do you think this momentum can continue? This is what, the third consistent month where we're getting 6 games again, or second, correct me if I'm wrong. I would go as far as to say it's 8 games now. So just, we're gonna talk to the members. Start with Jerry. What's your take on these 6 pro games, and do you think, again, this is a momentum that they can continue moving forward?
Echoing what Holtz was saying earlier, I kind of don't want them to necessarily keep 6 or more games a month coming out for free. I think I'd mentioned before, even if they did 1 a week or 2 a month. But then I was thinking, if they really want to have 6 or 8 games, I know some of you guys say, I don't, you don't claim them all. I'm one of the people that just claims them, even if I'm not going to play them, because I have this weird freaky thing that I got to click free. But I thought it would be cool, maybe if they just want to limit it. So put up a span of 6 games and say, as a pro member, you can pick 2 that you want for free this month, or you could pick 3, and kind of limit how they divvy them up. Just little different ideas that they could do. You can't do huge, massive dumps all the time or every month. I don't think it's sustainable unless they bring enough games fast enough. And then what's going to happen is we're going to keep saying quality over quantity and all that. But the thing is, I like every game that was dropped for Pro this month. It's a little bit different than past months.
It's true.
And I had mentioned plenty of times, Monster, Jam, Steel Titans, and Everspace filled a void in the service for games that people were looking to play. And they may not be brand new games, but there was nothing like them there yet for people to get into. Everspace is a great one, and Monster Jam, I know Ben's got someone playing it. I think Holtz has some people playing it. It's a fun game to get into when you don't want to do grid or F1 or go that deep into a sim racer. So I love these pro games. I just don't know that if they could keep up this quality every month, maybe sure, but I don't think they can. So they might have to dial it back, or maybe just start giving choices to what people want to claim.
Yeah. Good point. Good point. You said 6. Did you add the 2? Those
Yeah,
dropped?
so 6 to 8. So we've
6
been
to
getting
8,
6, and then we got those 2 shadow drops,
Right.
which turned this month 6 into 8.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's been 6 to 8 now, but it was 6
Right.
before this month that we got the 2 shadow. Yeah.
True. Okay. And realistically, someone was saying on Reddit, we possibly might even get more. You know, they might do something for Christmas, but it's crazy. All right, Duncan, what's your take on these 6 pro games?
6 pro games, you can't knock it. Again, I think as Jerry was saying, I think these are better than the ones which have actually came to buy this week on Stadia. I put them, my ones, and this is including the 2 which dropped, my 2 favorites I put this are Everspace and Into the Breach. I know a lot of people have been enjoying Outcasters for me, and I think it is absolute not rubbish. It's really well made, well put together, but I'm just not feeling it. I think it's pretty lackluster from my taste. I'm finding it a bit boring, to tell you the truth. And I've put a bit of time into it, and it's just not clicking with me. And I know the Stadia community is absolutely loving it, or the majority of the people are loving it. But for me, and I know I'm going to get pelters for this, I just don't. For me, it's nearly the second coming in the Stadia community. That this is absolutely brilliant. This is going to bring people to Stadia. It should be an esport. I don't see anything like that for Outcasters. I think it's well made, and it's good if it's appealing to you. Absolutely brilliant, but it's not a groundbreaking game for Stadia. So my 2 games on this list are Everspace and Into the Breach, and they're actually older games. And Everspace is actually going to get better in a couple of months when it gets its 4K patch as well to make that even better.
Right. Yeah, that game is gonna look gorgeous in 4K. So do you think Outcasters is gonna take a get packed approach to where it'll be a game that was hyped, soon to be forgotten?
It's going to be forgotten later on this week. It's
Oh
going.
my gosh.
What's coming out this week?
True that.
Yeah, it is just. It needed to be released a couple of weeks ago. I think in the middle of November, and it may have got some more legs. I've just got a horrible feeling it is just going to get lost next week with Cyberpunk, because especially with the deal which is being put out there, where everybody seems to have jumped on it to get their free controller and the
Right.
Premier Edition. There, I've just got a horrible feeling it is going to die a death. And I've been doing some searching here, and people aren't liking what I'm going to say. If you go searching for live streams of Outcasters on Twitch or on YouTube, it ain't taken off. There is barely any of it. So I don't want to be a Debbie Downer here, but Outcasters is well made. You can tell it's well made. It is polished as hell, but I just don't think it's outstanding. And you can't really say that at the moment.
True. So just drawing the blank. If I haven't called on you, please let me know, right? Did I call on you in this one?
No.
Okay. All right.
I mean, these games, I happily claim them for the family, but they're not really something I was really interested in playing, like diving in this week, should I say. And where I was saying about quantity over quality, if someone said to me, what games would you like to see on Pro, the first thing I would say is, like, give us the third Tomb Raider that we want, give us MotoGP, give us a Final Fantasy 15, give me big, huge titles, which I believe are big titles. So I would rather see one huge, big title and then maybe 3 or 4 that could be little indies. Because when you just see them as potentially pro games or indie titles, a lot of people are like, well, I don't really want to subscribe to that model because them games don't interest me.
Right.
So that's why I want them to hook everyone with a big game.
True. So what's interesting is they kind of started that way. I mean, when Pro became a thing, we got, Tomb Raider, we got Guild, we got Metro, we got Grid, we got those like good games. And so I feel like lately, like you guys have been saying here, we're getting a lot more games, but they're nowhere close to the quality of those games that we got.
I'm not saying these games are bad, because I'm pretty sure they're pretty fun to play. I'm just saying the majority of gamers label them as indie titles and probably don't even want to touch them. They judge the book by its cover.
Yeah. I mean, imagine Final Fantasy 15 on Pro, right? Or I know we're not going to see Red Dead anytime soon, but like games like that, I feel like will make more noise than 6, games that no one's hardly really interested and excited about.
And I would always like to see like stuff like, if you knew your next series of the game was coming out, why don't you offer Football Manager or Just Dance a few months before the new one comes in? So they're trying to say, look, we know it works and we'll give it to you for free, and then we might actually hook you to buy the next games on Stadia.
So NBA 2K 20, they put that game on sale for $5 at one point. Just bring it to Pro, right? Get more people in the service so the game can build a better online community. But no, instead of making it Pro, they dropped it to as low as $5. It's just like, yeah, good point with that for sure. Who else haven't I called on? Mark, go ahead. And Ben, go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, like the others have said, always happy to get free games. Again, kind of on board with the, I'll say, quality over quantity. As fun as it is to get the little dopamine hit every time you hit the free button, as Jerry said, I'd rather grab 2 games that I was actually going to put some substantial time into, rather than just bulk out the library so that it looks better and makes me feel better about staying a Pro subscriber, I guess. Out of the 6 initial pro games, the 2 that stand out to me, Hitman 2, so obviously a great game, fairly recent as well. I guess it's probably the closest to what you could consider AAA out of the list. So absolutely happy to get that. And Everspace. I think somebody else mentioned it is probably the first of its kind of genre that we've seen on Stadia. And it's one that I've always meant to check out, never got around to it. I know there's actually like a second one out of that now as well. But even just that first one was because I played all of these on stream and jumped into it. And it was super easy just to jump into. There was no like long story monologue. There was no tutorial was very quick. It was like, here you go, start playing. And I kind of enjoyed that one. So yeah, I'm super impressed by that. Outcasters, I have not. I mean, not to prove Duncan wrong, but I mean there is somebody streaming on Twitch now with 2 full viewers.
2 viewers,
and that is it. There is nobody else streaming it right now.
Is he a big Twitch streamer?
No, it's just a random French person who's streaming, and that is the only stream I can find. To be fair, searching for it, there's past videos which people have. There's like 20, 30 views, and that is it. Yeah, comparatively, when we're looking at it compared to Cyberpunk, it is absolutely going to get forgotten. It could be, with the amount of work they've put into Cyberpunk, Outcasters could be a mini game in Cyberpunk as far as I'm aware. I will jump back in. I will give it a try. Like I said, I struggled even with the basic training, and I went into the advanced training, and it was difficult. Like the control mechanism for curving the shots and things, I couldn't get on board with it. Maybe it's something you get better with, with time. We'll see. But yeah. And a submerged one I'm going to check out just for it might be like a chilled kind of relaxed stream, because from what I'm aware, it's kind of story driven and exploratory with 0 combat. Sometimes you're not in the mood for that, you just kind of want to explore, kind of experience a story. So I'm happy to give that one a go.
Right. So I actually am sitting, and Chief can attest to that, I'm sitting on a gameplay video that I made when the game launched of Submerged. And so the concept of the game, Mark, like you were saying, there's no fighting, or so you go from island to island and you do puzzles. So you complete one puzzle, then you move to the next island. The story, it's decent. I don't know. There's just something about that game that's just not clicking for me. And man, I was hoping that would be, a good get. But I read a review. I think it was Android Police who reviewed the game, and they were saying this is a missed opportunity for a Google Stadia exclusive. And I would have to agree 100%. But anywho, Ben, let's check in with you about these pro games. Where are you with it?
So I'm actually excited for most of them. It's nice. While I might not play Kine at all, it's good that after almost a year on the service, they finally put it on Pro, and it should have been Pro to begin with. Monster Jams, it was a lot of fun. I found myself playing it just like goofing off, and it's a game that you don't have to take super seriously. I will say Outcasters is more fun if you party up with someone. Because I was playing with like 3 people in a party, and we kept landing in games together and using voice chat, and it was a lot of fun that way. As long as you have people to play with that you can kind of interact with, it's a blast.
Right.
Will it be forgotten? Sadly, probably. I don't think it can keep up its steam that it has this week. But yeah, Mark, you should try changing the aiming to cursor instead of the directional. It's a little bit different. You might like it a little bit better. I played around with it a little bit the other day.
Whoa.
So is that keyboard and mouse
No.
support if you play on web?
If you do cursor, your right joystick becomes a cursor instead of just directing the shot.
Whoa.
So it's
Okay.
a little bit easier to bend the shots and stuff like that. It's more time consuming. It's slower, but you're more accurate. So it's something I was
Potential
tinkering
game
with the other
changer.
day. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is a
It
game changer.
makes a little bit
Right.
different.
Have to try that.
And then lastly, Submerged. That's a great late night game for me when I'm trying to wind down and relax because there's no combat, there's
Yeah.
nothing stimulating, but it's very relaxing and soothing. So I'll probably keep playing that. Usually end of the day when I'm trying to wind down.
Okay. Good. Yeah, you let me know how that game turns out for you. I was really excited. I thought it was going to be like a Wind Waker type of game. But no. So let me know how that game turns out for you. But somebody mentioned keyboard and mouse for outcasters. Happy. Hey, how you doing, man? But this might be a good idea for this game, especially like if you want to take it seriously and competitive. Trying to be competitive with it. So, anyone tried this game with a keyboard and mouse? Outcasters? No.
I know
Okay.
it's possible, but I haven't done it.
I think it might be better. I'll give it a try and see. But yeah, it's a good recommendation for sure. Cool. Anything else with the pro games? I think so. My take on this whole 8 games now is I think is good, right? Yes, it would be better if they put quality games. I think what they tried to do is they tried to put at least one decent, I would say, AA game, right? We got Sniper Elite 4, we got Hitman 2, and we got something else the previous they give us like one AA quality game and then add some other stuff. So I mean, my daughter really played the Monster Truck game. She loved it. It's a good selection. But again, I just want more quality titles. But can't give them hate. The fact that they still consistently bring in us these amount of pro games is insane, realistically. So kudos to the Stadia team. Before I move on, guys, if I'm missing anything from there, just feel free to hop on. The next thing I want to talk about is free to play titles. Again, we have Destiny 2 is a free to play title. Just this week, we found out that Super Bomberman R Online is going to be free to play. So this is the second one. This is cool. I think this is great. Again, it's a way for people to test out this platform without needing to be pro members. They can just hop on and play it. And I think the diversity of games is quite interesting. You have a game like Super Bomberman, and you have Destiny, two completely different games, but I feel like it's a good variety. I think they should put a sports game there and a fighting game just to, diverse the portfolio. So when people test this out, they can be like, oh wow, it plays first person pretty well. It plays sports games pretty well. It plays fighting games well. But this is a good move, and it's pretty cool to see the library continue to grow with free to play title on Stadia. So let's just check in with the members. What's your take? We'll start with Jerry and Bomberman and other potentially free to play title coming to Stadia.
Probably one of my most popular comments, and probably for you guys too, is what can I play for free?
Oh,
And
yeah.
and they
Oh,
do
yeah.
mean for
Without a
free,
doubt.
like absolutely. And with GeForce Now and Stadia, you can get in on free, but the difference has been Stadia has struggled to bring free games, like actual free games to free, so that it's actually all free, or it was hidden behind the pro subscription or whatever the case may be. So they need a lot of this. I think this avenue might help them bring more free to play games to the service, because we've heard, like, for Fortnite, Epic has said, we're not bringing it to the service because you don't have enough players. They're not bringing it just because when they see enough happening. So if they can bolster this whole free service plus free to play, try it out, all that kind of stuff, it's gonna mean a lot. So I liked seeing that
Yeah.
happen. I was really excited when they did it to Destiny 2. Now they're doing it to Bomberman. The only issue I have with Bomberman, and I don't know if Mark still plays it or not at all. We were
Oh.
into it a little bit when it came out, but I can't get a 64. I can't, you know what I mean? It just died off. And that's the fear with a lot of what happens with these games. Surprisingly, even though I complain about player base for Destiny 2, I still play it on Stadia a good bit, just to do solo stuff that I'll do on there and fill in the gaps. And it just has always run really well. Another thing is, for me, Stadia not being my main platform, I don't pay for Pro for the free games.
Mm.
I pay for Pro for the 4K. That is why
Yeah.
I have Pro. It is the biggest reason why I have Pro. 4K HDR possibilities on my TV, or even on a monitor. Anything I want to go up to 4K, you got to be paying for that. That's my personal big reason why I have Pro to begin with. Anyway, it's not really for the free games. So seeing them bring free games to the free service, I think is needed. And the more they do that, the more people we're going to get that we can all join up with and play with on
True.
there.
Good point. Holt, what's your take on this?
Jerry said it all there. I couldn't. I was just thinking.
Nodding.
I agree with that. I totally agree.
Right. Okay. No, not much to add to that.
No, when you're actually
Really
sitting there
bad.
going, when you're sitting there thinking, "Be quiet, so I've got something to say." I was like, he was just.
Oh
said
no!
It. He just said it all. It's like,
4K.
yeah. Like,
That's cool. How about you, Mark? What's your take on this?
So I'm a massive fan of it. I think we after Destiny went free to play a couple of weeks ago, we said it's an absolute essential because it lets people in the door and lets them test before they put money up front, whether it's to pay for a game flat out or sign up to Pro. It lets them test the service. So it's good to see. It's great in terms of, for the players. From a business side, I think it's an absolute necessity for Stadia for a lot of these types of games where they've not introduced the cross platform play yet, and you're restricted to playing with people on Stadia, and we know that the volume isn't quite there yet. Anything like a Destiny, like a 64 player Super Bomberman, I'm going to make a prediction right now. Pac-Man is going to be added to that list, and probably Outcasters. They're well within, it's within their freedom to add Outcasters. It's as a Stadia studio. So we'll probably see these types of, although it would, as you said, it would be good to see a better diverse kind of range of some of these free titles, and they might add some of those in between, but I guarantee this is going to be the, massive multiplayer 64 room kind of games that we'll see on here as a necessity, so that there are enough people playing it that the games can go ahead, so that they can survive, basically.
Right. Crater might be another one that we eventually, they ran that little promotion, but they were probably trying to test the waters with that. But I would not be surprised if we see that game.
Yeah, great shout.
For sure. How about you, Duncan? What's your take on this free to play in Stadia?
Yeah, I just hope it's just going to open up the door for the other sort of games to come on. Warframe, it's a game which I think's got massive potential for Stadia, but you can just name them all. But the elephant in the room is Fortnite, and we do need to see that. And Fortnite is dying. We hear the cry over and over and over again. And this week they hit record numbers, their highest ever player base. The dying game keeps dying, but seems to be getting a higher and higher player base. That needs to come to Stadia, and it needs to come pretty soon. They're going to need to write that check.
Truth, agreed. We recently did a video showcasing the free-to-play titles on Geforce Now. And it was incredible how many good free-to-play, and nothing against Stadia, but you're talking about Apex Legends, you're talking about League, you're talking about Fortnite, the list went on. Spellbreak, there's so many great AAA titles, Destiny, Warframe. And it's just, in this area, I know Stadia's new to it, but they have a lot of catching up to do, and I do think that it'll be good if they can get these games. But let's check in with Ben, sir. What's your take on this?
It should have been done a long time ago, starting the free-to-play titles. They took way too long to do it. I think PUBG should be one right away. Any game where you have to purchase stuff to do well should be a free-to-play game. That and what was the other one I was thinking? Elder Scrolls should be a free-to-play game as well, because if you want to do well in the game, you got to buy stuff anyway. So what's the point of having a pro game that's free when it should just be free to begin with?
Interesting. Yeah, those would make great additions to Stadia's library. Those are high quality profile games for sure. Cool, Duncan. What's your take?
I gave a
Did
take.
you?
It was the.
It's one of those days, fellas. It's one of
Oh,
I
those
want it
days.
again. It was
Give it
really
again.
good.
Yeah. What I'll do is I will give something else here. If you have pre-ordered Cyberpunk on Stadia, check your bank account because my money has been taken for Cyberpunk, even though it was not meant to be taken out until day and date. It has been taken out already, and it's not a holding thing. I use Monzo for the people in the UK, and you know that as soon as something's taken, it dings. It is dinged. It is gone. It is wiped out. So it has been taken. So Cyberpunk is getting charged.
So you said that last podcast too. I think it was about Immortals, right? They charged a little early.
Yeah,
So
so which is
interesting.
weird because they actually say on the thing you will not be charged until the game is released.
Right.
So unless I've
Right.
got access to it now, I don't think it's released yet. So
Yeah.
just keep an eye on that.
What I'm worried in case they actually start your 14-day return policy now when you've took the payments, or they'll actually just
Ooh.
wait. So that's what will make me worry.
That's a
Good
good point.
question.
Yeah.
I'm going to actually put that on Twitter to see if they actually respond to me because they don't respond to me. So they don't.
Because no on Google, they'll just say date of payment, wouldn't they? They go, oh, we didn't know Cyberpunk was released on that day. We just took it. The policy starts when you click pay.
That'll be good to know for sure. Like once they bill you, is that when the 14-day return policies? I guess like who can we ask for that? That'll be good to know. Right. So the next thing I want to talk again, feel free, fellas, to jump in if I'm missing something. The next thing I want to talk about is Elder Scrolls Online being free. Again, we know they do this to where they offer like a free weekend of a Google Stadia game. They give us what F1 the last time, and now is Elder Scrolls. What's your take on this? I think I know where you guys are gonna go. We've talked about this before. It should not be locked to pro, but a game like Elder Scrolls, I think, is a big game and has a lot of huge people following this game. So, do you think this is a good game to showcase Stadia free to play weekend, if you want to call it that? So, to get started on this, we'll check in with Holtz. What's your take?
Well, I love ESO, and to see this being free, I think it's a great move. But I can't see it bringing a lot of people to the Stadia platform. I don't, because I think everyone's already played it, or they've already got their sort of preferred hardware they like to play it on. So I think a lot of people will see this and they'll go, oh, in two minds. But I really do hope they actually do try it.
Mhm.
But I'm not really thinking that it's going to attract the numbers.
Okay.
So with that in mind, I would have hoped he actually chose another game myself. I would definitely, like if you said NBA, if you put NBA as free, I would have thought that would attract more people to enjoy Stadia free weekends.
Oh my
Elder Scrolls.
goodness. That brings up a great point.
So like you just
Wow.
said, it's got to be a game that needs to be populated. So I think we just said about sports games and fighting games. A lot of people are a bit scared about the input or the problem with latency. So give them games the chance to prove people wrong, and it'll populate the platform, even only for the weekend.
Yeah. Have they ever done Mortal Kombat? That might be a good
I don't
one.
think they have. So Mortal Kombat, NBA, and stuff like that.
Okay. Cool. What's your take on this, Mark?
Yeah, I think agree with with you two. I think we've said it before. Having free play events, they're not free play events if they're locked behind Stadia Pro subscriptions. So they need to open it up. If they're doing it with free play or free games like Destiny and Super Bomberman, I don't see it being a massive stretch for them to start opening up these events. It would be great to see a bit more easy to access without having to jump through these hoops. In terms of choice, absolutely. Something easier to jump into. ESO isn't something that you just casually, I'm going to try that for a weekend. It's something that's going to devour your freaking life. So, and absolutely agree with Holtz. I mean, and what I was saying about a newer game, because so I know we've got all of the expansions and everything, and the newest one was only recent, but if you've been playing since like day one, it came out in 2014, you have your preferred platform, you already play it somewhere consistently. I don't see the what's going to gravitate you towards trying it on Stadia. It works for you, you've been playing it for 6 years.
True. Good point with this. What's your take on this, Duncan?
I will unmute myself there. I was actually looking through the games here to see what other games it was. Again, free-to-play weekends, absolutely amazing on all sort of cloud services. Elder Scrolls would not be anywhere near where I would have put a free weekend, for obvious reasons, which the guys have said here. Sports games are a brilliant one just to do to get the numbers in, as Holtz was saying. I'm just trying to see if there's any other ones which we sort of get there. And also with the Elder Scrolls, it was pro for like about 2 weeks as well, so there'd be a lot of people already had it in their library. I'm just having a look. There's no real games that stick out there which I would actually put now on free-to-play weekends. F1 would be one. NBA would be maybe another. Football Manager 2021, when it comes, would be a good one, because there'd be people would just get sucked into that. But I think, again, we just need the library to just develop more, because as we know, the library is, I'm not saying full of indie games, but they need just some more variety, and just it is building up. And I hold you jumping in here.
I was going to say Just Dance. Wouldn't you choose Just Dance for the free weekend?
I would choose Just Dance, because Just Dance is amazing.
Exactly. So add that as a free weekend.
Yes, I've got Just Dance, so I have no problem. Avengers could be a good one to coming up in the next couple of months as well. So yeah, I'm absolutely 100% behind these free weekends. I just think we just need maybe some better games.
Avengers needs the players. I think I saw that their player base dropped by 96%.
Yeah, that game is going through a rough. I mean, they dropped it down to 30 for Black Friday. I wonder if that helped increase the sales, but yeah, the game is kind of struggling. I honestly forgot that game was available for Stadia until you said something. So, wow. Okay, cool. Jared, did we get your take on this?
Not yet. I could do this quickly. Yeah, first of all, Avengers is hurting. They still haven't made a profit on that game yet since release. Yeah, they're behind big time. So it's not helping any platform. But I think on Steam it had like 538 players the other day or something like. I mean, it was real bad for a game like that. But yeah, we need free play weekends are something we've talked about a lot. Excellent. We want a lot of it. I'm of two minds now, because we do have the free Stadia games, and then we have the pro free Stadia games. So I used to think more or less they didn't need to be hidden behind the pro model so much. But if you're going to have two tiers like that, I don't necessarily mind if pro free weekends are for pro subscribers. Because for those people that don't have those games yet or haven't experienced them, I don't have a problem with that being part of my subscription perk, that, being a pro member, I'm going to get these free play weekends to check out a game. However, of course, there's going to be that part of me that says, I just want everybody to be able to come try this, but maybe they need another kind of system for that. I think the free play pro weekends are for pro subscribers pretty much anyway. Like Duncan was saying, that was a pro game before, so I imagine a lot of people have clicked claim and they got their ESO and they're good to go. And also Stadia is like the only one that didn't get the cross save. So like my Xbox and PC are the same ESO, but when I jumped over to Stadia, I couldn't move my save, so I quit playing it on there. I didn't want to start over. So like Mark is saying, people have their preferred hardware, and even their preferred hardware is working together, but Stadia was not part of that with the cross save. So kind of killed it for that. Yeah. But for any pro members who haven't tried ESO, it's great for the free play weekend. I want to see games that really show off the latency of the service for people that even are subscribers, but kind of stay away from games like Mortal Kombat or some of the racing games. I love seeing F1 free play weekend, because that game is fast and the latency really matters. And we all know that Stadia has really good controls and latency. So, but yeah, good to see free to play, but there's kind of a lot going on there. And I'm kind of splitting minds these days with Stadia. Like I'm becoming two people when it comes to looking at Stadia, and it's getting complicated.
Nicely said. Ben, I know you just came back, but we're talking about free-to-play, Super Bomberman being a thing now with Destiny. It's free-to-play title on Stadia. What's your take on free-to-play on Stadia?
So I mentioned the free to play. I mentioned that PUBG needed to be free to play and ESO,
Did
but
we do you already?
no, well, it was a different part.
Okay.
I didn't talk about Elder Scrolls being free to play this weekend. I think that was, not a great choice considering that most people already have it on Pro, even though
Yeah.
it's not Pro anymore. They should have gone with the game like NBA 2K21. If they're going to put it on that big of a sale, they should have done it free to play first.
Right.
There's other games they could have done like Red Dead Redemption. They put a big sale on that for Black Friday. They could have done that for free to play for the weekend. Um, I don't know. There's so many other games they could have done. Attack on Titan. I mean,
Ooh.
we know Hulk loves that game, and they don't do any sales on it, so they might as well do that as a free to play one weekend just to push numbers on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Elder Scrolls to me was just a poor choice.
I always forget that Red Dead has this huge online separate game on its own. I do agree. That would be a great game to push as a free to play weekend type of game for sure. Yeah, okay, so that's all we have for free to play. Again, anyone else wanna hop in here? Let me know. If not, we're gonna move to words. I think we're done with Stadia here. Just give me a second, drawing the blank. Yeah, we're done with Stadia. The rest is just the sales, and we talked about that in the last podcast. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That Stadia news coverage took about almost an hour, fellas. Again, a lot to talk about, and it's been like this for the last 2.5 to 3 weeks. So again, we said Stadia is really, really killing it right now with news and games and releases. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do this week, right? With Cyberpunk coming. So I'm sure we'll have a lot to talk about next podcast. But let's do Shadow real quick because Mark, I was hoping that you would be here last podcast because I want to know if you knew anything about the invites with Ultra and Infinite. Where are things at with that? Are they getting closer to release? I'm here in the States. I actually am thinking about going with the Infinite model, but I did the whole put my name, registering. I have the boost right now. And what's what's the next step? So hopefully you can just break some news in that, whatever you allowed to talk about. But where are things at right now with Ultra and Infinite coming to the States? Is Mark there? Sorry,
Sorry.
Mark, to put you in the spot.
I heard the spiel, but I didn't get back in time to
My
realize it was
bad.
directed at me. Yeah, the last thing I saw, they gave some more accurate estimated dates for the different data centers. I think the disappointing thing to say, I think Jerry's probably going to agree based on his location, was obviously their big announcement was previously they were set for 2021. The big announcement is we're bringing that forward for the US. Chicago's already started rolling out access for some of theirs. December, I think, was the optimistic estimate for Texas and California. And then you saw the New York one, and it was like June 2021. It's like it was completely separate to this like good news for the US. So that was definitely disappointing to see. And I didn't include it in this week's video because I wanted to see the trend of how these pre-orders or these activations are going for Europe. But France, which is obviously the main one, so we understand why there's a bit of a delay, but that does not seem to be getting better. I understand, as I said, we're kind of ramping down now towards the end of the year. A lot of tech companies do kind of code freezes and things like that. So that might explain why they're not as quick at the moment. But, with a period like this, people are going to start taking breaks. They want to play some games. They'll find out about Shadow. They'll go, they're just going to get more and more pre-orders. and less activations at the moment, we're going to see that gap grow. And it's really, the number one comment I got, I think somebody asked during this podcast, like, I'm not going to get it for 5 months. Is there a way to skip the queue? There is no queue skipping. There is a giant ass queue. And it's disheartening if you've just found out about it and you like the look of it and you go to sign up and you see that wait is it's not a great look.
True. Okay. So there you guys have it. So when am I getting mine, Mark?
Which data center are you?
I'm in the West Coast, whatever data center is closest.
I think that's the optimistic December, but start of 2021 probably.
Okay. I mean, I'll take that. Cool, but nothing new when it comes to news in the Shadow world. But we'll just hop right into Luna. But again, just want to give Mark space to just clear some of that because we get those comments in Discord. So do you guys go? So we're going to move into Luna. And this week we had 3 games that was released for the platform. Immortals, Phoenix Rising being one of them. And we kind of talked about that already. Played on Luna, it ran okay. Just like Geforce Now, again, I still prefer to play it on Stadia. To me personally, I feel like it's the best performance yet with looks and the way it runs. And then a game called Paper Beast and another game called Valkyries. Don't know anything about these 2 other games. But what do y'all's take on these games coming to Luna? It seems like every week they're still dropping games, and it's pretty cool to see this. But again, I wonder when my biggest sense, what channel is coming next? We got Ubisoft Connect, but what's next? When are we going to see the Square Enix, the EA? So I just want to talk to you guys. What's your take on these stealth drops of games that just on a weekly basis drop on the Luna platform? And are you guys excited about the games that they've been releasing on the platform so far? So to get started, Ben, what's your take on this?
I'm still waiting on my Luna, so I'm still pissed off that that I did everything I could. I went to Ubisoft Plus and did the referral thing to try and speed things up. Like people were saying, they were getting in 2 or 3 days after that. Nope, it's been a couple weeks, still hasn't happened. I'd love to play these games and see how they play, but I have no idea.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's so random who gets this and not. It's so I applied with 3 different accounts, and I'll be real with you guys, secret. But I applied with my mom's account just to see if I'll get it, and she's the one that got it out of all of my other accounts. And I'm like a Prime member that spend decent amount of money. My other account, nothing. So it's just quite interesting who receives this out of everyone. She got it. But Jerry, what's your take on these games come to Luna? And have you received yours yet?
I also give Amazon a ton of Prime money. So, and me and my wife don't even share a Prime. She pays for her own. I pay for my own because we like to have our own separate accounts with free shipping, and we don't like to be combined. So, yeah, we give them a lot of money. And I also have applied on 3 accounts. And I, unlike you, have had no hits on any of that fishing expedition. And for Ben, you gave me the tip to go to Ubisoft and get my code, and I did it. And everybody was like, "You're going to be in 3 days," and I'm still waiting. Okay, so it didn't happen. But
what's the point of that form they make you fill out? What type of gamer you are, how often you play, what kind of games you like, if they don't even care?
Right.
I mean, they're giving it to your mom's account.
No, they do care.
Differently.
They just want the age demographic of the mothers that are happy to play 720p. This is an amazing game, 720p on the cloud. That's what they're after.
I've definitely seen enough that I'm anxious to get my hands on it, but at the same time, it's just become a thing of like, how long will I wait? Like, I could get access. I've had great people like you offer me access, and some people in the community in my Discord, I think 3 people now, have said you can have my account information, you can access it if you want. I'm like, hold on, this is kind of a game now between me and Luna. I want to see when I actually get in there. So, but yeah, I'm just waiting. But it is beta, and we'll just see what happens. We'll see when it comes. I can't say much about how the games run because I don't know. But I like seeing them continue to add games. We want the Sega channel. That's what we want, because that used to be a thing back in the day, and we want the Sega channel. So bring me that.
Yeah.
But don't bring Sega channel before I get my invite, or I actually will be pissed then. I will be hitting up some people on Discord right away if I see that.
Yeah, that's what excites me the most about Luna, just the channels. I'm really pumped to see which or what ones they announce next for sure. Cool. Yeah, I hope you get yours, Jared. That's great. Again, the office still stands here if you do get fed up with them for sure.
I have faith. Before Christmas, they're gonna get me. I don't know. Just like Ubisoft Connect's coming to Stadia before Christmas. I have faith. It is gonna happen.
It's gotta happen. Host, what's your take on this, man?
Well, I don't like the idea of stealth dropping games because, for me, like I said on the previous chats, that I would rather see them say Immortals Phoenix Rise and coming to Luna in advanced, so it gives me the choice which service I want to play my game on. So I don't want to load. I don't want to wake up on a day I want a game and go, okay, which platform has got it, and then I'm wondering, right there, Geforce Now and Luna will unlock at this time. I want them to promote it well in advanced. And a channel that I want to see, of course, I would love to see Capcom. That's one of my. I want Resident Evil 2 and 3 remastered, 7. Potentially the new Village coming on it. I want to see Devil May Cry's all on it. Oof. So I want to see Monster Hunters and stuff like that. So that's one channel that I would think, wow, if they had it, I would jump on board.
True. They do have Resident Evil 7 there. So I mean,
7's like 7's older than Resident Evil 2 remastered and 3 remastered. So
true.
If I want something new to sink my teeth in, it's definitely you have to get them ones.
Yeah. True. Hopefully, I just hope it's a good start. Hopefully, we see more. But yeah, I've said this before. I think the best thing about Luna is the channels. What can they bring? And so, until we see more, I think Luna's just going to be Luna. But Mark, where are you with this?
Considering their business model, them continuously adding games to the Luna Plus subscription is always going to be a good thing. Like adding, I can hear myself echoing, by the way. Like adding, myself has put myself off. Like the Luna Plus channel is free, so adding games to that is always going to be great because you're not paying for them. As Holz was saying, would it be good if there was some kind of notification or something to say this week we will be adding on this day, and you get some kind of awareness of it? Could maybe be a bit better. But I think like everyone else, 1, be interested to see what channel we get next. 2, probably everyone else who's in the UK along with me are probably just sitting back and not paying it too much attention until we start seeing it come outside the US.
Yeah, you have Bat over here saying it's still not available in Canada as well.
There we go.
Yeah, that's a bummer. Okay. Duncan, what's your take on this, man?
Yeah, it's just say something to Holtz here. They did announce that Immortals was coming. It was on the trailers for Immortals Phoenix Rising. It was at the bottom of the trailer. I got carried away with my editing this week, and I didn't have a chance to actually bung that out there. But yeah, it was on the bottom of the trailer. So that it is good that they are announcing it. But I would expect that all Ubisoft games going forward will be day and date. Just what time they'll be on the surface, that's the question. But I am expecting them day and date. Because it's a submodel and subscription and you don't buy games, shadow dropping is more or less fine. But as Holtz has said before as well, I would like some sort of schedule. Like what Netflix do, they've got, if there's big games coming, you want to know when the big games are coming so you can plan in advance. So say Resident Evil Village is coming by some miracle to Luna Plus, you would want to know that in advance rather than them just going bang, here it is, then date sort of thing. So yeah, you can't complain. Basically, they can drop as many games as they want, basically shadow drop them, and you really can't complain because that is
true. Like we said, But you just said it's less likely that they'll get kind of new game, like brand new games on that Luna Plus channel. But say they did and didn't announce it beforehand, and you've pre-ordered it on another platform, and then it's part of your subscription, you're gonna get, it's gonna annoy you.
It's true. It's true. Duncan, you were going to say something?
Yeah, there is actually, if you actually go through the Luna catalog, there is a couple of newer titles on it. Some of the tennis games were pretty new. That Cook Serve Delicious, I know that's the biggest game in the world, but that was basically a day and date on Luna as well. So I am expecting a number of maybe smaller to maybe mid-tier games to possibly go day and date. But again, this is still in beta, so we just have to wait and see how all this pans out. But I do like the suggestion that we get a bit of a schedule if there's going to be some bigger titles coming, say whatever is coming next month at some stage, a bit like Game Pass.
True. I think you guys are all onto something with Luna and what can be done to make it a better platform. But that's all the news that we have for Luna. I do want to talk about xCloud, if you want to call it that, and PlayStation Now, really, because a game that came to that platform and left and is back again, but this time for good, is Horizon Zero Dawn. Just want to talk to the members of this panel. How do you guys feel about that? Do you feel like Sony is finally listening? And just so you guys know, I forgot who was from Sony that was interviewed about how they're going to respond to Game Pass. And they mentioned that they have something similar in the works, but they're not ready to announce it yet. So again, just want to see what you guys, do you think Sony has a plan? Do you think they're listening? And do you think PS Now is going to get better? We'll talk about PS Now because I don't think it's a lot of xCloud news. So to get started with this, Holtz, what's your take?
I'm totally happy seeing Horizon Zero Dawn Complete Edition coming back. It should have never been removed in the first place. Removing first-party titles was just a bad mistake, and I think now PlayStation's trying to correct what gamers actually want to see on this service. So to me, I never finished the DLCs, so seeing this now, I'm thinking to myself, I'm going to boot up the PC client on my Shadow, and I'm definitely going to be playing some Horizon Zero Dawn.
Nice.
But then on that one, it's great to see a first-party title join back in, but also I'm happy to see Darksiders free join. But at the moment, I'm a bit concerned how long it'll actually be on there, because this game's been on Game Pass and stuff like that, and it's been there for a few months, and every time I see it, I go, I want to play that on Cloud. And then by the time I actually do get round to it, it's took away from me again.
Gone.
So, and a lot of people in chat could say, well, just play it now. Well, it's not that easy because I'm distracted by a lot of games, but it's something that I really like to see. And if they had a little timer saying, you get this game between December and June, at least I'll actually put more priorities in what games I actually want to play before it gets taken away.
True.
I think Sony is playing catch up. I think it'll be a long time before we see Game Pass. I would say about 2022. I don't think they're going to... I would love to see my purchased games like Horizon, Forbidden West, or Ratchet & Clank and that be part of PlayStation Now for next year, but I can't see it. Can't see it anytime soon.
Yeah.
Which is a shame, because I wanted them all, to be honest.
It is. So, again, like I said, even if they bring back... it doesn't have to be next gen and PS Now. They have some killer PS4 titles, The Last of Us 2, Ghost of Tsushima, right? Bring those games to PlayStation Now. People love to play that.
All that PlayStation 5 PS collection, I think they all should be on PlayStation Now. Because what's usually happening with this PlayStation is people are getting confused. 1 minute on PlayStation Now, and then 1 month it's getting given away for free on PlayStation Plus.
Right.
So they need to do a Game Pass and just merge it together.
Thank you. Couldn't say that any better. Agree. Maybe that's what they will do. But again,
But how many months will we actually get more irritated by saying, "Oh, here we go, it's free on Plus," and this? They need to do it ASAP.
ASAP. Agreed. But let's check in with Jerry. What's your take on this, man? Where are you?
I think it's going to be quicker than 2022. I think you're going to see PS Now make more changes a lot quicker by the second quarter of next year. Is kind of what some of the things I've been hearing from other YouTubers and stuff, that it's definitely coming quicker, and Sony might be progressing faster than they were originally going to. It is a little confusing for some people with PS5 because the Plus collection and then the PS Now collection, and some of those games are in both places. Bloodborne is in the PS Plus collection and on PS Now. So you can play, so in either spot. The difference is that PlayStation Plus collection is just for PS5 people. It's got 20 PS4 games, good games from the last gen to kind of say, here you go, to bring people in that, like me, skipped the PS4 generation and didn't play them. Holtz played all those games, so that collection doesn't mean as much. PlayStation Now, though, and a lot of people forget, though it's not the deal that Game Pass is, it has more games. There's over 500 games available for PlayStation through their service. And they are going to be doing some kind of Game Pass type thing. Seeing Horizon come as a permanent addition, watch out for Spider-Man. It's on the way because everybody's been complaining it got pulled off of there. I was 40% through that game when they pulled it off. It ticked me off. And if I didn't have the PlayStation 5 here where I just kind of went through and played both Spider-Mans, I would be still mad. So look out. I guarantee you it's coming back. They're going to put more exclusives on there permanently. And what they're doing is just showing you what they're going to be doing soon in the future. You are going to see those PlayStation exclusives come there. I just don't think they're going to do it like Xbox where you get the release day ones, because they still kind of want you to buy those. I think you're talking 2-3 months down the road, they get added over time. So if you want to play them on release, you pay for it. If you're willing to wait, you'll be able to check them out on PS Now or whatever they call it. I think they're going to rename it.
Yeah, I think so too. Good point. Mark, what's your take on this?
Yeah, 100%. I was going to say, with the return of this, it's hopefully a good sign that we'll see Spider-Man come back. Like we were saying, first-party titles being removed just makes zero sense. I cannot understand the rationale behind it at all. At this point, I've seen so many rumors and potential patents that Sony may or may not have filed, or things they filed 10 years ago that they may be bringing back now. Like, it is impossible to call at this point. They are aware of what's happening in the market. They're aware of how popular Game Pass is, how big it's getting, how much traction it's getting. So I think whenever they plan to release it, for it to be a competitor, they're fully aware of the market and what it needs to be, and it's going to be big. And I can't call what it is. I refuse to guess at this point. It's going to be, I think it will be good. It will need to be, honestly, because like we said, they are coming in late to the game, and I understand that. So it will be very interesting. I just don't know what it will be at this point.
True. Ben, what's your take on this?
I don't know. I've never been big into PlayStation, so I just don't have a whole lot of opinions on it.
Okay. Fair enough. Duncan, what's your take on it?
I will be succinct here. The guys have already said it there, but I will just go back to my usual thing. Content is king, and arguably now PlayStation has the games that people want to play, and if they push PlayStation Now out further out there and make it a bit better, that is going to be a compelling sort of pull for a lot of people. And the rumors are gathering that there is something substantial going there. We've seen the patent this week, or maybe some people may have seen the patent this week. They are definitely pushing this, and there's been talk of a PSP, PlayStation 5 sort of thing. It's something is happening. Hold go on.
Nah, I'm still here from Sony. My PSP was sitting in a drawer abandoned by Sony. So them saying they're going to bring another PSP or handheld, I'm like, I don't trust them. I do not trust them. They're going to kill the handheld, and I feel sorry for them.
Yeah. It's basically, from what I just read quickly, it's basically a 5G thing, so it's basically you're playing in the cloud. So it's just nice, simple, and I think that's what we're going to see a lot of going forward. Screen, 5G, connect, away you go.
I think the people who actually play Sony games, I think they're the least to adapt to cloud. So if Sony brought it out, I don't think a lot of people are going to run out and buy this 5G handheld. I don't think Sony will actually support it in the long run.
That's fair enough to say. People don't I mean, I think the PSP sold about 70 million consoles, It was one of Sony's first consoles, so it did well. And then the PS Vita got slammed, and Nintendo pretty much like gained this market share back. But
I think why the PSP sold well was because all the homebrews and all the stuff like that. They put out all the emulators, but just offering a cloud device by Sony, I don't think a lot of people are going to see the perks of it, should I say. I think they're going to see it and go, well, I'm carrying around my phone or a small tablet. I'll just be happy with this.
There you go. And that...
Sorry. I think we've talked in the past about one of the things that maybe stops us using xCloud on the phone is because you take some pretty big, detailed AAA titles and put them down to something that size, and it's difficult to play. So it's kind of insulting to do that to a PlayStation 5 game now. Put it on a PSP or something like that. Like,
that's true. That's true. But the thing is, why go that route when that's why I love Google Stadia's approach. I mean, their screen's bigger than what anything they can put on a PSP Vita 5 Vita, right? These iPads, like Mark has stated multiple times, and enjoying playing your games on your iPad, the freedom of it. Google's approach is get as many games in Google Stadia and as many platforms as possible. That should be the approach instead of creating just one specific product to try to push cloud. It's not a good, I would say.
I don't think you're gonna see the portable, by the way.
You don't think so?
I don't think you're actually gonna see it. Remote play works so well. PS Now starting to work so well. Their streaming starting to work well. You can download those games on your PlayStation, stream on your PC or your phone, different things like that. I don't think we're going to see the portable. I think they're going to push in the other direction with apps and devices and things like that. Even though the rumor's a little strong right now, I don't think you're going to see it.
Yeah, it's just not a smart move, investment. But who knows? Sony, they like to do things sometimes that shocks people.
No one should battle Nintendo in the handheld. Mark, just don't even bother.
Yeah,
but if Nintendo ever brought a cloud system and it was like a 5G Switch Pro, I'll be the first one to, because I believe in their games are developed for that size screen to enjoy it as well. Yeah. So if Nintendo can do it, I would cheer them on. But with Sony, like I said, imagine a PlayStation 5 games on a platform on handheld that I believe will be abandoned.
Yeah, I think a Switch Pro 5G is coming. I'll be surprised if it doesn't happen, because you see them slowly, trying to push cloud with control. I can totally see this being something in the future for them. Sure.
So much for me to making that topic nice and small there, just to completely expanded it out.
So holy smokes, we out of time. But quickly, I'm just gonna cover this. Thank you, Mark, for sending this through. But Game Pass was just updated. We're not going to discuss a lot about this, but just want to showcase this, right? So coming soon titles: Control December 3rd, Doom Eternal December 3rd, Haven December 3rd, Rage 2, Slim Rancher, yes, Dragon. Holy crap, they're getting a lot of good games. Wow. Call of Sea. So again, here you guys see the mini games coming to Game Pass. Right, some implementing touch controls too. Wow.
Yeah, so I wanted to drop it in one because there is a good number of, this is their December drop for their overall ecosystem. So a good number of those are coming to xCloud, which is awesome to see.
Yeah.
My one complaint that we've talked about many times before still remains that it's wildly inconsistent. And it's like, this game is coming to xCloud and PC, and this other one is coming to PC and console. But there's only one on that list which is coming to all three, so it's a little bit confusing when you're like, where do I want to play it? And if I start playing it there, can I carry on somewhere else? And that's something that hopefully will get better over time. But it's good to see some of the big ones come into xCloud, like Control and Rage 2. Really big ones.
Yeah. Good. Again, thank you for sending this. But yeah, they need to bring that PC xCloud and that 1080p, man. Still, again, I can't stress how frustrating it is to play AAA games and then 720.
I need them like Final Fantasy VIII Remastered and Dragon Quest. I need them to be on xCloud because I'll be happy just going places and grinding these longer RPG games. So I don't like them where they're just tied to PC or Xbox.
Well,
All these, all
oh yeah, console and PC for Dragon Quest. That's a
yeah.
bummer.
So all these big, huge games, please bring them to cloud where I can grind in convenient places, and I'll be
True.
using the service more and more.
And very quick EA Play update, because last time I looked at it, it just said coming to Game Pass for PC in December. That now has a date of December 15th.
Nice.
So if you use any type of PC cloud gaming system like Shadow or Maximum Settings and you're a part of it, it is the best combination. And then having that for the exact same price, the price is staying the same. Getting access to EA Play is, I think, 80 EA titles, and they're also adding some exclusives for Game Pass for PC that the console guys didn't get last month. So that's kind of cool to see.
Now, this is something that bugs the hell out of me when it comes to this service. The games that end up leaving, we kind of talked about this, right? Luckily, there's no game that Metro Select is Untitled Goose Game's leaving. But yeah, like you invest in games and they don't stay on the platform. They leave. And so it drives me absolutely crazy. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, almost 10 games leaving December 15th. It's just insane. The advantage that Stadia has is you don't have to worry about that. The games that you get stays on that platform. That's just my biggest gripe with Luna and this, the fact that those games are going to eventually leave the platform. But it's just my take. Anywho, we're cutting it close in time. Just want to give members of this panel a chance to just plug the channel and let you guys know where you guys can find them. This was a good show. It's crazy. Stadia took about 70% of it, but yeah, so much to cover. But yeah, so to get started, Duncan, where can they find you and what do you do, sir?
Yeah, you can find me at One to Escape on Twitter, also Cloudy with Games, and you can find me being really stressed out about next week with the Cloud Gaming Awards.
Ooh, plug that real quick. Cloud
Gaming Awards next week. We're celebrating all of cloud gaming. We may have extra awards to give out. That's all I can say. I think touch wood, we may have other people joining us. So I don't want to say it out loud as yet, but I'm hoping we will.
Okay, nice. Mark, what do you do and where can people find you, sir?
Yeah, at MarkWattsVLG on Twitter and YouTube. YouTube will be Cloud Gaming News, VR content. You know what? I'll throw it out here. Why not? If you want to follow me on TikTok, it is 3D printing content. Started this week some 3D printing stuff because it doesn't belong on YouTube. Honestly, it's too wide stretch. So I started posting some short form 3D prints on TikTok, which is MarkVLG.
Just admit that you play. The goal is to play Just Dance on TikTok, man. Just admit it, right?
I mean, I might do some dances as well if you're lucky. That's your incentive.
Cool. Ben, what do you do and where can people find you?
They can find me on all the Discords. All these guys right here that have their own Discords. I'm in all of them. Pretty active. Once in a while, I'll stream on Twitch. I'll drop in my Twitch account in the stream. Not very often, but I'm starting to pick it up a little bit more.
Nice. And Jerry from Game Tech Planet, what do you do? Where can people find you? Also plug that awesome giveaway.
Oh, yes. Okay, this is the honest truth. I'm actually going to get TikTok now because I'm totally no TikTok. I'm going to get it just for Mark because I know eventually there's going to be a dance. I'll watch the 3D printing, but I'm definitely getting it for that.
There you go.
Legit signing up for TikTok tonight. Game Tech Planet on YouTube and Twitter, trying to test and compare everything's all things gaming. And yeah, the giveaway has less than a week left. By the time we do the next podcast, it's done. Somebody will have won literally something that I would have killed for a year ago. So it's everything. Then NVIDIA Shield TV Pro, Cyberpunk for PC, a 2080 Super Cloud PC for maximum settings, a $25 Steam gift card, and a Cyberpunk Special Edition Xbox controller. So that'll all be done by, I think, 2:45 p.m. Eastern Time next Thursday, the 10th, the launch day for Cyberpunk.
So all those things are not broken up. That is
Nope, didn't break them
one
up. And
big
everyone told me to break them
giveaway.
up, but everybody that
Insane.
offered something said, I want to offer it for your giveaway. And I
Wow.
wasn't about to start taking people's charity like that and break it into separate giveaways and span it out. Everyone wanted to make one big giveaway and do something special between NVIDIA, Max Settings, and me. So that's what we wound up doing. It just wound up growing to a nice size giveaway. I think there's 109 people in Discord on the giveaway right now.
Wow, that's insane. Good stuff. Good stuff. Holds, what do you do? Where can people find you, sir?
So you can follow me on Twitter on Holt86, and you can find me in the Cloud Gaming Club, roughly on Facebook Gaming, Twitch, Fingo. And then this week I'm going to play Valkyria Chronicles 4.
Yes.
Because I'm a big nerd for them type of games. So at least I got something to talk about.
So get this.
And
Go
yes,
ahead.
I'm going to actually join TikTok as well for Mark.
So get this. Cyberpunk comes out this week, but if you know Holtz, you know the type of game that he likes. So the fact that he's choosing to stream Valkyrie Chronicles 4.
The issue is I've got Cyberpunk pre-ordered on Stadia, but just like Attack on Titan this week, I had Immortals to play, but I was like, I'll just play all those other games. It's alternative stream.
Yeah. Cool. Well, you know where to find us. We're here doing videos and podcasts. But yeah, guys, appreciate you guys being here. This was a lot of fun and awesome members of the panel. It's always fun just chatting cloud gaming with y'all. But yeah, we'll catch you guys next week, same time. All right. Until next time. Peace out, fellas.